Want to give it a try. I mean, this Tezzeret's a meta deck. It always will be. You know, some months it'll be good, some months it'll be terrible. You know. Want to try a white Gearhulk and a Geist? How has Gearhulk been? It's awesome when we have a Cryptic in the graveyard. If you don't have Cryptic in the graveyard, I would suspect this is not as good. All right, let's in some chests. Because why not? Yeah, like the Gearhulk's great if you have a Cryptic in the graveyard. If you don't, it's just not as good. Oh, okay, Sterling Growth. That gets used in sometimes gets used in Enchantress. Emrakul's Influence. And Ulamog's Nullifier. But yeah, this card's neat. Gets used in Legacy Enchantress sometimes as a 1, maybe 2 of. Alright, let's open this one. Some play points. Yay, play points. Woo! Woohoo! Alright, Plague Sliver. Alright, all slivers have... Oh. That seems really bad. Search the city. Huh. Huh. And an abstruse, excuse me, interference. Alright. This seems like such a bad force spike. Alright. Well, you know what? Play points and qualifier points. There you go. We got some packs we need to move. I was gonna build Tezzeret in paper. I'm having second thoughts. You know, Brando, I don't blame you. I feel like Tezzeret is just such a sweet, sweet archetype when it comes to like Legacy. Modern, I'm still not convinced. We've done a lot of different brews for Tezzeret in Legacy. Anyway, it's only 12:45. Do you guys want to maybe tweak the Jeskai list and maybe we could jump into another league and maybe do a few matches? I don't know if we can do... I doubt I have enough time to do a full league tonight, but maybe we could do another couple matches. Where we leave off with the... excuse me, Gearhulk. I think the Gearhulk's really good if you, like I said, if you have a Cryptic in the graveyard. When you don't, it's not as good. It's okay with Electrolyze. I think I'm going to shave an Electrolyze, though, to be honest with you. I love the card, don't get me wrong. I think I'm going to cut one. And then maybe we'll get a second Gearhulk in here. Now, Gearhulk doesn't really synergize really well with the knot, though. I guess that's what somebody was saying. They said cut the knot because it doesn't synergize with the Gearhulk. That's reasonable. I just happen to really like Logic Knot. Even if it doesn't work with the Gearhulk. But it doesn't. Because it's an X spell, it shouldn't. Without paying its mana cost. Nah, it's not going to work with this. What was my budget Robopod list? It was just like a... It was like a black-green Robopod. No blue. You just basically hope they weren't like Oops All Spells. Alright, Blue Baron, yeah, in the show I talked about you'd have both Ojitais and Cryptics as big payoff cards. Why no Mana Leaks? There's 3. How much is Gearhulk going for? Maybe it's gone down, maybe it's gone up. Well, let's hit Card Hoarder. Let's see what it is on Card Hoarder. Yes, it can. I have not thought about the red Gearhulk. Wow. So I actually got this guy when he was cheaper. I think I got that first Torrential Gearhulk for 7 tickets, and now they want almost 12. Let me double check that. Let me cross-reference that. Make sure. Yeah, consume the meat would work. I may have missed my chance to get these for really cheap. We'll see if that's the standing price. Yep, that is about where people want it. I don't really want to buy a second one anytime soon, guys. Don't get me wrong. I think Gearhulk is sweet. I also think Blue Gearhulk with gifts ungiven. There you go. Okay, so you were asking for, you wanted to see my Tezzeret list. Sure. I don't even remember what we called it. It was called, we had a different name for it. Fearless. We called it Fearless Tezzeret. I think. No, Fearless Robopod. That's what it was called. No fear, because no blue. No force. But it was grindier because of it, like, which is good. Like, grindy. It is more price friendly. Let's see if I can find it. Would be like right here. This one. Robopod version 0.97 was fearless, so this is not going to have blue in it. Yep. So it looks kind of like this. Although we were running, looks like Mindbreak Trap. You don't have to be blue to run Mindbreak Trap. So look kind of like this. This is for SketchUp. Or excuse me, this is for, yeah, SketchUp. These go here, these go here, Thragtusk. We ended up deciding that we prefer... I ended up deciding I prefer the blue version, but you're welcome to play... There you go. Actually, frog mites are ideally going to be that much. We got to give back these wastelands. That's another reason I stopped playing this. And we also gave back the Trinispheres we were borrowing. Is that what it looked like? The curve? I don't know if I'm in love with that. It's no good place to put those enforcers. Alright, it looked kind of like this. Alright, so back to Gearhulks. So we could also talk about that tonight too, which of the Gearhulks is... I mean, I think one of the reasons why I like the white one so much is because it has flash. I think it's very relevant. No offense to the other Gearhulks, I think operating at instant speed is really nice. Yeah, I mean, basically what I did was I added more cryptic commands than I've been running in the past. Anyways, let's jump into another league with this, and then from there maybe we'll decide whether or not another Gearhulk makes sense. Oh, you know what? I actually didn't like the Cascade Bluffs, I think. Wasn't that what we determined? Because in fairness, the deck has more, well... There was really only one spot where this really screwed us one game. Like, does that mean we should cut it? It's really great for the anger, but outside of that, it doesn't do much. Alright, what's the reason for a Wrath over a second Supreme Verdict? That's a great question, Avalanche. Why would you want a Wrath that stops regeneration? It's good against Thrun, useful against Elves. Those are the two majors. Outside of that, outside of Thrun, and I'm referring to Aziri, for Elves, there isn't one. But you also need to ask yourself the question, why do I want the uncounterability on Verdict? When a lot of the decks where the Wrath would be good anyway, there isn't a counterspell waiting for you. The reason I'm doing a split here actually is in part to, is a nod, excuse me, to the Commandeer in the board. Because I need just more blue spells. In fact, that's why I'm running heavy on Electrolyze. And heavier on Mana Leak than I usually run, because it's a nod to this card. And I'm trying to fight Tron in different ways than I have in the past. Like what I did at the GP, I did have a Commandeer. Oh, Bedlam? I think Bedlam Reveler is actually really neat. I've watched a few streamers playing with the card. I think it's a really neat card. I think there could be hidden somewhere in Modern, just people haven't found card for card what needs to be in the deck. I think there might be a blue-red Bedlam Delver or Delver Reveler list lurking. People just haven't figured out exactly what the numbers are on it. It seems neat. I think Reveler is actually really sweet. You're a huge fan of going to 3 leagues? Yeah, I think I'd be fine to test this. I think I'd be interested to see how this version works. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to eventually add more Gearhulks to it. Play more. Do you guys want to see more Blue, White, Red in Modern competitive league? I mean, if you guys don't want to, if you guys aren't interested in that, I mean, I can just call it a night. You know, I got stuff I got to do. What's up, Snafu? How's it going, Snaff? Let's see what a second Gearhulk does in this thing, but I just don't have it. I don't have a second one yet. What was the price projection on this thing? Is it going up? Or anything would be great. I like watching you play whatever. Kevin wants to know why place at a Colonnade. I'm seeing lots of lists doing 2 to 3 now. That's not all that weird. Yeah, you can. You just need to remember that when you cut colonnades, you need to consider adding other win conditions. Were there spots that we wanted a third island tonight? I'm also trying. Like the other thing we can do to combat some of the aggressive decks, because the only game loss we had was to Suicide Zoo. It's in there. Do I still have the Stasis deck? Of course I do. How have the alliances been? They've been sweet, Superstar. I like them a lot. They also give us a little bit of play against things like Bogles that you wouldn't normally have play against, which I like a lot. I'm guessing Colonnades is